Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ. Let's begin the PIB analysis for 3rd of July by me, Dr. Gaurav Garg. Now, if you want to prepare for UPSC, one of the best ways is to buy our pen drive course and log on to our website or dial this number if you want to buy this course. And me, Bhumika Saini, who is now IAS, and Dr. Mahipal Singh Rathore, we have prepared this pen drive course. And some videos will also be by Shri Ravi Agrahari, who is one of the best known teachers in New Delhi. Lot of people, they ask me for the PDF. Well, just log into StudyIQ.com and click on downloads. You will find the daily press information bureau analysis PDF or join our Telegram group. Very, very simple. Here we go. First, let me cover some of the relatively unimportant news. So, President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, he has congratulated Belarus, small country, European country, which got its independence today, July the 3rd. So, this is their Independence Day. Capital is Minsk, and the President of Republic of Belarus is Mr. Alexander Lukashenko. So, our President, Pranab Mukherjee, he extended his greetings and best wishes. Also, President Pranab Mukherjee, please note that he is our 13th president. Now, Ramnath Kovind, who is most likely to be the next president of India, will be the 14th president of India. And he received his first copy of a book which is called President Pranab Mukherjee, a Statesman. By the way, this copy he received from a person no less than the real executive head of India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that Pranab Mukherjee means a lot to him and he has taken care of him like a dad does to his child and so on. Pleasantries were exchanged. And this book is published by one of the India's oldest English newspapers, The Statesman. And the name of the book is President Pranab Mukherjee, a Statesman. So we talked at length about the GST. So more news from GST. Now GST, it's been 2 days since the GST has been rolled out and today was the 3rd day. So government is trying to play down any inconveniences to the public. They said everything is going smooth. And for example, the dhaba, that is the roadside food shops, and the big restaurants, the kirana shops, the mom and pop stores, that is, and the departmental stores, they have all started getting used to acclimatize themselves to the GST, which is the new tax system. And since 25th of June, that is in the last 8 days, today is 3rd of July as we speak. So since 25th of June 2017, more than 2,23,000 new dealers have entered the goods and services tax network. And also there are fresh applications, 32,000 dealers, they have been granted fresh registrations. And this was all said by our Revenue Secretary, Dr. Hasmukh Adia, who also took to social media to remove some of the myths, to dispel some of the myths associated with the GST. And he also appealed to the public, general public, that please don't spread rumors about the GST. Now, GSTN, you know that GSTN is the network that will implement the GST, and in turn, GSTN will be implemented by the, controlled by Infosys, which is the second largest IT company in the country. So GSTN, to make things easier for the public, they have provided a Microsoft Excel template file. So for example, you don't need to create your own MS Excel file before you upload your GST filing on the GSTN network. You can simply download it, and you can download it from the website gst.gov.in. I downloaded it myself because I also have to file my GST. And bad news for me, pen drive courses are now placed in 18% bracket. So that's a revenue loss for me. Meanwhile, goods and services tax. So this is, you can download it. This form number is called GSTR1. And when you download, you will see this. So that depends on business to business. For example, if you have a B2B business, that is business to business, you have a B2C, and so there are various formats. You can simply click from here, whichever format you want, and it's ready. You can simply enter your details and your invoice and everything, and you can simply upload it on the GSTN network when you file your GST. So they have tried to make it easier for the public. So they have uploaded the invoices template already on the GST website. And this, they are saying that this will make things easier for the public, and filing the monthly returns very, very easy and at minimal cost. Now now I also talked about GST will, I talked about it yesterday. GST will improve ease of doing business. What is ease of doing business? Let me elaborate this in depth, in detail for all of you. But before that, a statement for you. Tell me, is it true or false? The higher the rank of a country in ease of doing business, the more FDI it gets, the more foreign direct investment it gets. So ease of doing business, this index is by the World Bank. The most trusted one is by the World Bank, although there are many agencies which publish their own ease of doing business indexes, but the most trusted one is by the World Bank. And whatever World Bank says, we have to take it very, very seriously because we are the most important beggar for the World Bank. since the inception of the World Bank, during the Bretton Woods system, we are the country which has benefited most. The maximum lending by the World Bank in the last 70-80 years has been to India. That is why whatever World Bank says, we have to be very serious about it. And World Bank's one of the most important indexes is the ease of doing business. What is ease of doing business? See, it's in the name only, right? It is self-explanatory. In which country it is easy to do business, as simple as that. For example, I have 300 crore rupees spare. Just assume it, okay? I don't even have 3 lakh, but let's assume that I have 300 crore. Now I want to invest this money, okay? Let's say I have a company and I want to open branches somewhere. Now one country is Singapore and one country is, let's say, Congo. Okay, Congo is a tropical country, African country. Okay, famous for the Congo tropical rainforest. Anyways, so where do I invest? Should I invest in Singapore? Should I invest in Congo? How do I decide? And let's say there is one more country, Tanzania. Okay, Tanzania, neighbor of Kenya. Now, in which country should I invest? How will I decide? So I will look at the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index, or I will take a look at what the credit rating agencies are saying. For example, Fitch, FITCH, or Standard & Poor, or Moody's. What are they saying? What is the global outlook, economic outlook of a country? All these parameters I will consider before investing in a country. That is the importance of ease of doing business, because businesses, industries, countries, they take it very, very seriously before deciding in which country to put FDI. Now, is it like the better we are in ease of doing business ranking, the more foreign direct investment we will get? So this answer is right here. But before that, let me elaborate more on ease of doing business. So ease of doing business, number 1 country right now is New Zealand. Second is Singapore. So my answer is right here. I will see, okay, in Singapore, ease of doing business is good. Starting a business is very good. Dealing with construction permits is very good. Getting electricity is very good. And registering property is also good. Overall rank is second. So yeah, I will invest in Singapore. I will not invest in something like Tanzania or Congo. That is the importance of these indexes. So which country is right now number 1 in ease of doing business index? New Zealand. And number 2 is Singapore. Now please also note that this is one of the criteria, not the criteria for which the companies see, but this is very, very important. And ease of doing business, there are 4 most important criteria. First is starting a business. So you know what World Bank said last year? If you want to start a business in India, it takes you 29 days. Okay, it takes you what? 29 days. In New Zealand and Singapore, you can start a business in few hours. That is the kind of red tape and complex paperwork we have, And so what is India's rank? Let's see what is India's rank. India's rank is a very, very poor 130. In fact, last year we were 131. For 2017, we just jumped 1 place, 130. Despite so many efforts by the government, we only jumped 1 place. In fact, let me tell you, the central government and Modi, our honorary Prime Minister, they are obsessed about ease of doing business rank. In every interview, in every speech, they mention about ease of doing business. We are doing well, we are trying to improve and this and that. So government is obsessed about improving the ease of doing business rank. And what is our rank? 130. Last year, 131. And look how poor we are. So if you want to start a business in India, out of 190 countries, we are a very, very poor 155. Construction permits, we don't get easily. Out of 190 countries, we are 185. That worse. Getting electricity, yeah, we are well off, because now we are also investing a lot in the, Ujala scheme is there. Then we have saving electricity. We are also investing in solar technology. Our target is 175 gigawatts by 2022. And we are also investing a lot in nuclear energy. We are investing a lot in other alternate cleaner sources of energy, because we are a party to the Paris Agreement, COP21. So we are legally bound. In registration of property, we are very, very far behind, 138 out of 190 countries, and overall we are 130. So this shows that ease of doing business, we need to do more. And let me tell you, now for this year 2017, late 2017, World Bank will issue its ease of doing business. So right now is the time when the government gets its act together and try to push ease of doing business rank. Now I asked you a question. The better the rank, the more FDI. No, this is wrong. Let me give you an example. Japan has a very good index, very high. It ranks very high in the ease of doing business, but it attracts very less FDI. Why? Because the Japanese people, they like to use only the indigenous products, the domestic companies, nationalistic flavor. Okay. And all the companies, they are not like there is a bad blood between them. They are very connected. The Japanese companies are quite unlike Indian companies in that regard. They are very nationalistic, and therefore countries, other countries, they try to invest less in Japan. Okay, because the returns are less. Whereas the countries like Netherlands, for example, also called Holland, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Belgium, these countries attract more FDI. Why? Because they act as tax havens also. What is tax haven? You put your money, you don't have to pay any tax. That is called a tax haven. So, you know, Madagascar and Switzerland and Luxembourg, all these countries, they are the tax havens. And in Switzerland, that is why a lot of Indians deposit their money. They don't have to pay any tax and the money is stashed there. So therefore, these countries, because they are tax haven, they have made it a strategy. So if a company will say put my 300 crore in Swiss bank, it can rather invest also in Switzerland as FDI. So that is the thing. And you know, there is something known as external commercial borrowing, which is called ECB, and there is something known as FDI. What is the difference? In both of these things, the foreign company invests in a country. In external commercial borrowing, it is a normal investment. In FDI, it occupies a stake. That is the only difference between external commercial borrowing and foreign direct investment. If you are putting FDI, you have to occupy a stake in the company you are investing. That is the difference. Let me give you another example. China has never been ranked in the top 50 in the ease of doing business index by the World Bank. In fact, right now it is 78. India is 130. China is 78 right now among 190 countries in the latest ranking. But everybody invests in China. One of the best, one of the most invested country in is China. And for example, Bhutan, Tunisia, you know, it ranks ahead of China in the ease of doing business. But who invests in Bhutan and Tunisia? Come on. Next. So what is India doing exactly? How is India doing in ease of doing business? So India has improved its position in starting a business a little bit, not much. Construction permits, little bit again. Accessing electricity to a significant extent. But India is very, very poor on two parameters, which is also considered by the World Bank. One is accessing credit. Still, most of the country is underbanked or unbanked. Okay, and paying taxes. Because tax system, firstly, very few people in India pay taxes. And secondly, government has not done anything to put more people under the tax bracket. What they do is they are taxing middle class more. They are putting lot of cess like the Krishi Kalyan cess and all these cess, Swachh Bharat cess, but they are doing very little to bring more people under the tax bracket. That is why paying taxes we have worsened than before. And also, you know, our tax system is very, very complex. Now the government is trying to make it simpler by introducing GST. So these rankings, they also consider a lot of other things like how much is economic growth. In fact, let me tell you the truth. For our rank, we are doing very well. We are 130 in the country. That means we are very poor in the ranking. But still countries are investing. Why? Because India's economy is strong. And in fact, IMF, International Monetary Fund, has said that India is a bright spot among the dark economy of the world. Because most of the countries right now are having, you know, very less economic growth. Then what is government trying to do further to improve ease of doing business? So there is a significant improvement in the labor laws, especially in terms of wages, the daily wages of laborers, social security schemes. A lot of social security schemes are being introduced and a lot of schemes for skill development also, welfare, industrial relations, security and working conditions of the labor. So labor laws are being upgraded and amended. Then to bring more FDI, what we did? We completely did away with the Foreign Investment Promotion Board. We cancelled it. We revoked this institution. And because there was a lot of red tape in this, you know, in Foreign Investment Promotion Board. Now the individual ministries will deal directly with the foreign direct investment. So that's a good way. And we are trying to bring more and more investment under the automatic route. So then we have also eliminated or done away with the paid in minimum capital requirement. This has also been done by the government. Some more things have been done. In fact, this is most important. These 6 things. So this is as latest as 29th of June. Government has said that it will clear the FDI proposals within 10 weeks. In fact, less than 10 weeks. So that is what government has said on 29th of June. And also these things have been done. In fact, government has recently written an email to World Bank. It has said that please improve our rankings because last time you did not judge us properly. You neglected a lot of the improvements that India had made. So we are not happy with rank 130. Please improve it. That is how much government's obsession is with the ease of doing business. Because Narendra Modi's one of the biggest initiatives is manufacturing India, make in India. For that, countries need to come to India. So what the government has done is it has made obtaining DIN, PAN and TAN very, very easy now. So for example, these 3 you can get together now. The DIN is your direction identification number. And PAN is your permanent account number and TAN is your tax deduction account number. You can get it very, very easily now. They have been merged. All the 3 have been merged. Then your EPFO, that is Employee Provident Fund Organization, it has made the Provident Fund online now. Very, very easy now. And then you don't need company seal now. You don't need digital signature now. So removal of company seal as well as digital signature requirement. In fact, you can also do self-attestation now. Previously, you had to go to a gazette officer and do his attestation. Now you can do it on your own. Then bank accounts are not required for filling any forms. This is another one, was red tape. And then no more inspections under the Shops and Establishment Act. So these are again some of the things which the government has done, and you need to absolutely need to include these points in your answers. So let's practice essay writing. First question, how is GST related to ease of doing business? That is my number one question for you. And second question is, you compare India's GST with other countries. So questions like these are not uncommon, and you need to be really well versed. You need to be a really educated person to answer such questions. So let's begin. I will help you because this is, still we are in the third day only of our video. So today I will help you, tomorrow I will not. So the first question, how will GST help in ease of doing business? So GST has replaced so many taxes, octroi and your this sale tax, VAT and all this. So now instead of n number of taxes, there is only one tax. So it will make our tax system very simple. It will eliminate the need for filing multiple returns. Although in GST also sometimes you have to file multiple returns because it is a destination tax. But again, it is still much lesser than the earlier tax system. And also, since so many taxes are being done away with, so earlier you had to deal with multiple authorities for your assessment of sales tax, value-added tax and customs, excise and so many things. But now there is only one tax, so you need a one point of contact only. You need a single authority now. Doing a business will become much easier because there is only one assessing authority. Now, let me justify GST. See, yesterday I criticized GST and today I will tell some positives about it. I've already told you one or two positives. So how can I justify GST at the central level? So, for example, see GST, what it has done is that it has taken care of the input credit. So, for example, let's say there is a farmer, okay, and then there is a wholesaler, and then there is a retailer. So, let's say a farmer has produced rice worth 100 rupees, and farmer has produced rice worth 100 rupees. Now, let's assume farmer doesn't have to pay any tax. Farmer sells it to a wholesaler. So wholesaler has goods worth 100 rupees, okay? And so we are not taking into consideration the profit here. So I'm assuming that farmer must have grown it at a cost of 80 rupees and he has sold it for 100, making profit of 20 rupees. Whatever that may be the case, I'm just taking an analogy to make you understand. So farmer has given rice worth 100 crore rupees to the wholesaler. Now this wholesaler guy, it will process the rice. It will filter the rice, it will clean the rice, it will do all the things necessary, and it will add a value of 50 rupees to it. That is the value that has been added by the wholesaler. So let's say 10% is the VAT. So what is the value added tax that the wholesaler has to pay? 5 rupees, because 50 is the value that has been added. So now the wholesaler has goods worth 150 rupees because 50 rupees is the value that he has added and 10% is the VAT. So he has to pay 5 rupees to the government. Now the wholesaler passes this 150 rupees worth of rice to the retailer, and the retailer adds a value of 25 rupees to it and he sells it to the public at 175 rupees. So you are the customer, you will buy it at 175 rupees. So what is the value added by the retailer? 25 rupees. So what is the VAT that retailer has to pay? What is the tax? 2.5 rupees, right? Why 2.5 rupees he has to pay? Because now 5 rupees has already been paid by the wholesaler. But let's say this transaction is transparent. It is a billed transaction. That is why retailer has to pay 2.5 because he can claim 5 rupees back from the government. What happens if this is a black money? This is a transaction which is not billed. Now retailer has goods worth 175 rupees and he has to pay 5 plus 2.5, he has to pay 7.5 tax, and this guy has to pay 5 tax. So earlier what was the government getting? 7.5 and 5 by wholesaler. Government was getting 12.5 rupees tax. Now how much government is getting? 10. So there is a decrease of revenue to the government now, but the system has been streamlined, system has been made more transparent. So the states were crying foul, oh we will get less tax and all, but there is a compensation for that as announced by the government. Any state which does not have a more than 14% growth rate will get a compensation by the government. Now let me justify also this at the state level. So I gave you an example, right? Like I bought it from a farmer. Now let's assume that I am buying it from Africa. Okay, let me give you another example. So there is Africa, then there is me, I am a retailer. Now let's say Africa, I buy 100 rupees of rice from Africa. What I have to pay? I have to pay excise duty. I have to pay import duty under the excise. Let's say that is 10%. So I will have goods worth 110 rupees now. And this I will pass on to the retailer. I am just the guy who is doing import export from Africa. So I have bought worth 100 rupees rice, I have added 10% excise duty. Now 110 rupees is there. Now please note that this is not the only solution, because after excise I also have to pay sales tax and other taxes. I also have to pay octroi, especially in Maharashtra. It is called chungi kar in Hindi, octroi. That is the entry tax into a state that I have to pay around, I think 2% or something it is there. So octroi I have to pay, and then lot of taxes I have to pay, but there is no system of input credit in those taxes. We only have input credit in the excise duty, so that I can pass on to the retailer. What about other taxes? Other taxes I cannot pass on to the retailer. So that is how the system will be streamlined now, and this is very, very important concept. And also one more thing, now let's say from Africa I have taken the rice to Maharashtra. Now I need to bring it to Tamil Nadu. Okay, so then Tamil Nadu will also take extra. Maharashtra will charge octroi from me, right? Tamil Nadu will charge surcharge from me. It is my destination. That is, what is surcharge? It is tax on a tax. So this is against the principle that tax cannot be levied on taxes. So this is another one of the defects in the state VAT we had, that the excise duty was paid, the state government also charged surcharge over it. So that is one of the reasons, and that is how GST can be justified. Now, I was telling you about ease of doing business. See, since we have implemented GST now, rolled out the GST, so one of the three big credit rating agency, see the biggest three credit rating agencies in India, in the world, and all are American. One is Moody's, one is Standard and Poor, and one is Fitch. So Moody's has already given its statement. They said that GST will contribute to productivity gains, higher GDP growth. So this will be music to Modi's ears, higher GDP growth by GST. It will also improve ease of doing business. It will unify the one country into one market, one nation, one tax and all. And then it will make India attractive for FDI. And now we still await what Fitch and Standard & Poor has to say, but Moody's has also said it, already said it. And Moody's rating for India is right now Baa3, which is bound to improve if Moody's really mean what they say, and it is with a positive outlook. So Moody has said that India's tax compliance will be improved. Why? Because of all these things. First, there will be incentivization of tax credits in the GST system. What is tax credit? Tax credit is the amount that, let's say you have to pay the government some tax, whatever the amount you can deduct from it, subtract from it, that is your tax credit. So government will incentivize the tax credit in the GST system. Second, because of one tax, the IT infrastructure will be shared between the center and the state. Earlier there were a lot of taxes, so the IT infrastructure was very haphazard. Now it will be only one, it will be streamlined, it will be channelized in the proper way, and there will be a reduction in the overall cost of compliance from simplified tax rate. And because of all these, India is bound to grow. Its economy will grow more, and what else Modi said? It will attract more FDI. Now, see, one more thing. When you are supposed to write an answer, you just don't rely upon one index, ease of doing business, right? There are other indexes also by other prestigious organizations. So, can I say India is on the right track? Will I look at only ease of doing business? Let's say the government does whatever is in its might, then, and still ease of doing business, we don't grow appreciably like last year. We just jumped only one place. So can I say Indian economy is not doing well? No, we need to look at a broader picture. For example, there is an index called Global Competitiveness Index. And this is what the DIPP also said, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, that don't just look at ease of doing business, look also at the Global Competitiveness Index. And this index is by the World Economic Forum, headquartered in Cologne in Switzerland. In just 2 years since Modi took over, we have jumped 32 places. Now we are at a very prestigious 39th position in the world out of 138 countries in the global competitiveness ranking. And this is very similar to ease of doing business. So before that, during the Congress government, UPA 2, we were declining continuously. And now since Modi came, we were 75 when he took over. Then we were 55 last year. Then last year we were 39. And this year, who knows, we might improve further. So this is one index that can act as a sign or as an answer sign that we are growing. Now look at here, Global Competitiveness Index. If we dig deeper, then look at, we are improving in almost every respect. Very slight decline in the health and primary education, but apart from that, institution infrastructure, macroeconomic environment, higher education training, goods market efficiency, labor market efficiency, courtesy labor laws. Look, we have improved significantly, 103 to 84 in labor market. Financial market development, technological readiness, also we are growing. Market size is almost the same, but we are improving in most of the factors in the Global Competitiveness Index by the World Economic Forum. And some of these criteria are very, very similar to what is judged by the World Bank. So according to WEF, we are doing relatively well we have improved our competitiveness, vis-a-vis the other countries of the world in goods market efficiency, business sophistication and innovation. And World Economic Forum also said that we are improving tremendously. The government has concentrated on improving public institution. We have improved 16 places. Opening the economy to foreign investor and international trade, that is bringing FDI, we are up by 4 places. And more transparency, less corruption in the financial system, up by 15 places. So I talked about innovation. So let's talk about another very, very important index, which is given by the World Intellectual Property Organization along with Cornell and NCERT University, which is called Global Innovation Index. Innovation is your research and development, bringing something new, doing something new. That is called innovation. We have always been a country which is very poor on the research and development front, but in Global Innovation Index, we are improving. So for example, when the Congress government went away, we were 81, then last year we were 66, and now we have improved from 66 to 60. So right now in Global Innovation Index, we are healthy 60. Second question was, compare India's GST with other countries. This is a very tricky question, and why this is tricky is because not much data is available, but I have dig deep and I have brought a ready-made answer for you. Compare Indian GST with other countries. What is very significant about Indian GST? So the most important thing is that it is a dual GST. Okay, there is a central GST, there is a state GST, there is an integrated GST. I won't go into much detail about integrated GST, but you have to pay two at least. You have to pay either central or integrated, you have to pay state or integrated, or central and state. That depends. More clarity will be coming in the coming days. So you have to pay two GST. There is a dual GST system, that is center and the state. So a lot of countries in the world, they have GST. And please note that when you compare India with the other countries, please make sure that these countries are a little relevant. Okay, don't compare India with Pakistan. Pakistan also has a GST. Okay, but don't compare India with Pakistan. Compare with some countries which have good standard. Okay, so several countries like Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Austria, New Zealand. Now you'll ask me, New Zealand is a very small economy compared to India. Why we are comparing it with New Zealand? We are comparing it with New Zealand because it is number 1 on the ease of doing business. Russia, China. So these countries have already introduced the GST, and they're big countries, big economies. Okay, so for example, India's GST is very similar to Canada because Canada has a dual GST, that is central and state. However, in Canada, they have given the states this option. You can either apply state GST or central GST, but that is another thing. And Canada implemented GST way before in 1991. Now, one big difference between Indian GST and others, I said India has a dual GST, and many countries in the world, they have a single unified GST system. Okay, and countries like Brazil and Canada, they both have dual GST, that is federal also, central also, and state also. Now, another very important thing about Indian GST is that it is a destination tax. It is not a origin tax, and I will explain this to you in depth, in detail. Okay, what is origin and destination? See, let's say you are from Andhra Pradesh, okay, and you want to carry something, let's say tobacco. Okay, in Andhra Pradesh, you have a lot of tobacco in the Guntur district, which is the tobacco district of India. So you are carrying tobacco to Tamil Nadu. From Andhra to Tamil Nadu, earlier what used to happen, the tax slab was applicable in the Andhra Pradesh. That is the place of origin. Now Tamil Nadu will benefit because it is the Tamil Nadu where the GST will be applied. So let me give you another very good example. Jute. Let's talk about jute. Jute is a fiber crop. Okay, your bags and everything, they are built of jute. Your car covers and all. So jute is a fiber crop. Now, jute is produced in West Bengal. It is the number 1 state in India which produces maximum jute. In fact, 90% of India's jute is in West Bengal. Now, West Bengal, you are transferring jute to rich states, Haryana, Punjab, because they will buy the jute products, right? So, now West Bengal will lose out on the tax because of jute. Earlier, West Bengal had a lot of jute, so all the tax applicable was benefiting the West Bengal government. Now, it will benefit Haryana, Punjab, and things like that. For example, Assam. Now in Assam, there is a place called Digboi from where we explore oil. Similarly, in Maharashtra, we have Bombay High from where we explore oil. So oil is explored in Maharashtra, but it is then sent to all the states. So all the states will benefit, Maharashtra will not benefit. So the supply side states they will have a loss, supply side, and the consumer side states will have a profit because it is a destination tax. But what the government has said, it has said that don't worry, we will compensate you. For example, Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal, he knows that Digboi will lose out, right? So, but Assam will get 300 crore rupees compensation from the central government for the first 5 years. So that is how government has tried to compromise, settle a compromise, try to accommodate everybody's opinion, bring everybody on board, and then only roll out the GST. But there is a problem with that. For example, in the last fiscal, there were 17 states in India. See, what the government has said is, any state which grows more than 14%, we will not give a penny. Okay, so because that is a lot of growth, right? So the growth will compensate the GST loss. But what about those states which do not have this much growth? So they will lose out. So there are 17 states in India out of 29 last year, last fiscal, I mean, they had growth below 14%. And therefore, states, they will need this money from the government, and therefore government will pay, but it will put a lot of burden, financial burden on the central government. And also another thing, which states will have a loss, like Andhra, for example. Andhra is having huge growth, more than 14%. So Andhra will lose out. It will not get a penny of compensation. And it is a supply side state. So therefore, there were some concerns of the states, but then government is saying that because of GST you will grow more and that will compensate the loss of revenue. But they have also passed the compensation to the states for loss of revenue act, that is again the 101st Amendment Act, and because of that the states will be compensated. So I gave you one example, Assam will get 300 crore, like that states will get, but provided they should have less than 14% growth. Now I compare it to other countries. Which was the first country to implement GST? France. That's right, new party is there now, En Marche, and 1954 France implemented GST. It was the first Western European country to implement GST. And in France right now the GST is 19.6%. It is one rate only, not like India we have 5, 12, 18 and so on. It has only one rate, which is 19.6%. And most of the European countries, they implemented GST 40-50 years back only, in 70s and 80s. Canada introduced GST in 1991 and the rate is 5%. Indian GST is very similar to Canada because it is a dual GST and Canada is a federal country just like India. Let's talk about China. China implemented GST in 1994 and the United States of America does not have a GST, but no problem, because in America the states are very strong. It is a huge federation. It is a very strong federal structure. So the states don't need GST anyways. So you can't tell to the states your revenue will increase in the long term and all. States are very, very independent. So United States of America does not have a GST. Now Malaysia, it had 26 years of debate, very similar to India. India, you remember from Vishwanath Pratap in 1986 also we are having the GST argument. So in Malaysia also it took 26 years before GST was finally implemented in 2015, but they have only one rate, 6%. Australia introduced GST in 2000 and rate is 10%, but now they are planning to increase it to 15%. New Zealand had introduced GST in 1986. Now the rate is 15%. Singapore introduced GST in 1994 at 7%. And please note, in Singapore, GST is a source of huge revenue for the government. In fact, the revenue from GST is only second to the IT. So corporate IT is number 1 source of revenue and GST is number 2. Austria, small country, GST is 20%, Sweden 25% and Pakistan 18%. Now let me focus on some other news. Our union ministers Shri Vijay Goyal and Shri Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore. See, Shri Raja Singh Rathore, do you remember in the 2004 Athens Olympics he had won the silver medal in the double trap shooting. So Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore, he is our Minister of State in Information Broadcasting Ministry, and Information Broadcasting Minister is Venkaiah Naidu, and Vijay Goyal is our Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs. So they organized the 5th marathon, which is called Slum Yuva Daud. Slum, so basically this is an initiative which is called Adopt Slum Campaign. Total there will be 11 races and this was the 5th race that was conducted and 3,000 people had participated. What is Adopt a Slum Campaign? It is done in association with an NGO which is called Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan. It aims at highlighting the government's pro-people schemes, basically to include the marginalized of the marginalized into the mainstream and use sports as a means to uplift the society. Now, our Minister for Agriculture, this is very important. Our Minister for Agriculture and Farmer Welfare is Shri Radha Mohan Singh from Bihar, and he gave a very brilliant speech during the Textile India Conference. Textile India Conference is like a mega trade fair, the first mega trade fair in the textile industry, and he gave some very important facts. So, for example, agriculture, Indian textile industry gives direct employment, not indirect, direct employment to 4.5 crore people, and this is only second to agriculture. Agriculture is the biggest employer in India, direct and indirect both, and textile is the second biggest direct employer. 4.5 crore people, their livelihood is borne by the textile ministry. And during 2016-17, that is the last financial year, that is financial year 2017, which has just ended on 31st of March, India produced 58 lakh ton of cotton from around 1 crore hectare land. So the output is around 550 kilogram lint per hectare. Now, please note that cotton, where in India you will find cotton? So I will give you some geography about it. This is India, okay? See, my drawing is not good, so don't put a case on me. This is northeast. Now, Here you have the Kathiawad Plateau, you have the Deccan Plateau, these you call the Maharashtra Deccan Trap. These regions were volcanic in nature, volcanic, and this was the Malwa Plateau, Madhya Pradesh. And these regions had volcanoes. So volcano, whatever is inside, you call it magma. When it comes out, you call it lava. When the lava cools, there are black stones. And when those black stones, they weather, or there is weathering of rocks, they produce black soil. So cotton is grown in black soil. And that is why in Madhya Pradesh, in Gujarat, in Andhra Pradesh, in Andhra, that is near the coast, and in Maharashtra, you have the maximum cotton in India. So Gujarat followed by Maharashtra followed by Andhra Pradesh, and India has leapfrogged China to become the largest producer of cotton in the world. That is what was said by the Union Minister for Agriculture, and it was published in the PIB. So therefore it is authentic. When I searched internet, they said China is still the leading producer of cotton in the world, but in the words of Shri Radha Mohan Singh, India is the leading producer of cotton in the world. So, and he said that cotton is facing huge challenge from polyester, acrylic and the synthetic fiber. Now let me tell you what he said. So he said that, natural fiber, I'm not talking about polyester and all that, I'm talking about natural fiber like jute, like cotton, like, like this flax and all. So 60% of the total fiber industry in India is constituted by the natural fiber. Okay. Now 75 million people across the world, yani 7.5 crore people in the world, they are involved in the production of natural fiber. And in India, 3 crore farmers are involved in the production of natural fiber like cotton, like flax, like jute, etc. And the agriculture minister also said that 1 century ago, 100% was natural only. But then now if you see in the world, natural fiber share is less than 40%. Which was 100% at one point of time, because acrylic, polyester and all these clothes, they have taken over and everything. And cotton alone contributed for 50% of apparel use during 90s. But now cotton is only 30% in the world apparel market, clothes market, garments market, only 30%, less than 30% in fact. He also said that there are 90 countries in the world which produce cotton, and I told you India is number 1. So in India, during 2016-17, that is the year which has just ended on 31st of March, India produced 5.8 million tons of cotton from 10.5 million hectare land. This figure you need to know. These will substantiate your answers. But he also said that India, whatever is the cultivable area of cotton in the world, we have 1/3 of that area. So India has 1/3 of the cotton cultivable area, and 1/4 of the total production of cotton is in India in the world. So India is number 1 in the world. It is holds the premier spot when it comes to cultivating cotton. But he also said that since cotton is decreasing and decreasing now, because the youth of the today, they are not interested in cotton, they are more interested in the artificial clothing and all that. So therefore, synthetic clothing. So therefore, we need to do more. We need to increase the productivity of cotton with introduction of high yielding plants, best agronomic practice and innovative technology. See, one problem that Indian farmers faced earlier was that cotton, whenever they grew, it was eaten by bollworm. It was an insect. So what they saw was that if you insert Bt gene, that is Bacillus thuringiensis, it is a bacteria. This research was done that if you do Bacillus thuringiensis insertion of the gene into the cotton, then the Bt cotton that is produced, it will be resistant to bollworm. So a lot of farmers took to it, and in the entire country almost now we have the Bt cotton. But there were problems with it. Wherever you grew Bt cotton, now only Bt cotton grows. Normal cotton, organic cotton does not grow. Second problem was it needs more water. Third problem was that Bt cotton had started producing something known as super weeds. Super weeds, they are the weeds which not even the herbicides and weedicides they can kill. So there are all sorts of problems now with the Bt cotton also. And he also said that after cotton, he started talking about jute. So in India, maximum jute is in West Bengal, and the leading producer of the jute in the world is the neighbor of West Bengal, Bangladesh. And India is facing stiff competition from Bangladesh also, because India does not produce a very good quality of jute compared to Bangladesh. And also the cultivable area for jute in India is very less. It is only limited to Bengal and some pockets. That's all. So he said jute is also one of the most important natural fiber which is used for industrial application. But contrary to cotton, which is becoming unpopular day by day, jute is becoming popular because number one thing you have to understand is that jute gives employment to 5 million people in India, mostly in Bengal and surrounding areas and in isolated pockets. Second, jute is gaining success because it is being used by automobile industry for your seat covers and interior of cars. So, and also jute is finding more and more application in the technical wear, like the purses, the wallets and so on. And because now polythene bags are banned, so a lot of states are using jute bags now because they need an alternative, right? Jute is biodegradable, it is environment friendly. And he also said that jute is environment friendly. It also controls soil erosion. Also, the manufacturing, the demand of natural geotextiles manufactured from jute and sisal is going to have a steady and sustainable growth in the coming decade. That is, next 20-30 years, jute and sisal fiber, they will increase, their demand will increase. And therefore, one more thing, if you grow jute, soil erosion will be checked, but also it has a good carbon sequestering capacity. So carbon emission from jute is much less compared to other fibers. And India is also a party to Paris Agreement. So we need to reduce our gases like carbon dioxide, which are greenhouse gases. So we have a lot of greenhouse gases like methane, carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbon, water vapor, and so that. And carbon dioxide we absolutely need to reduce. And jute improves soil health. It checks soil erosion. It also is very economically important to the farmer. What is the productivity of jute in India? Average productivity of jute is 2300 to 2400 kilogram fiber per hectare of land. Also, he then talked about flax. So flax is also a natural fiber. It is a world's very important fiber crops, and it ranks 4th. It is also environment friendly. But the problem is India does not grow flax because we don't have the technology. So there is inadequate technology. So we need to improve production technology in India. Also, India does not have high yielding variety seeds of flax. There is no culture of growing flax in India actually. So therefore, all our linen fabrics which require flax, they have to import worth 60 crore rupees flax fiber from European country. So he said that we should started growing flax in India with advanced technology so that we don't need to import flax from other countries. So this was the analysis of today. I hope you are enjoying my English coverage. I'm putting in some extra work, extra man hours to bring to you this, and please share. That's only I care. Okay, bye.